Myself, Dr. Shailin Sinha, I am working as a professor in the mechanical engineering department at IIT Lucknow. I welcome you all in this lecture, where I am going to cover about the some aspects of the gas turbine, which is a part of the curriculum of the applied thermodynamics course of the BTech program running at the AKTU Lucknow. First of all, in this lecture, I want to deliver certain things with certain objectives that you should able to understand the things, and those objectives are that understand the construction and working of the gas turbines, evaluate the performance after studying that of the air standard cycle, and you should be able to analyze both the open cycle gas turbine and closed cycle gas turbine. To cover these objectives, I arrange my talk in a further this is the content for that: introduction of the turbine, classification of gas turbine, components of gas turbine, working principle, analysis of simple Brayton cycle, and some problem solving on that. Introduction: generally a gas turbine is a device or a prime mover which is used for production of the mechanical work, and difference between here steam turbine and other thing and the gas turbine is there. In the gas turbine, working substance is the product of combustion, or the gases is the working substance is going to be there. So, gas turbine basically utilizes the energy of the gases which are at high temperature and pressure, and that are expanding in the turbine, produces mechanical work. That work can be utilized for some industrial purpose, or whatever the coming out or going out of the exhaust gases that are used to be for the generation of the thrust by which we can propel the vehicles. So, here the energy of the fuel, which is the chemical energy, that is going to convert it into the thermal energy, and hence it further it is going to convert it in the nozzle and all those things, the kinetic energy, and that kinetic energy finally goes to converted as mechanical work, which may be used for the production of electricity or may be used for the traction of the vehicle or for generation of the thrust. There are some advantage over other prime movers in the case of gas turbine. That advantages are that here in the gas turbine plant we are using the less auxiliary devices. Auxiliary devices means some additional devices which are required for running of the plant, which are essential devices. This gas turbine plant is quick starting, it is self contained unit, very less vibration due to the rotating part only, less vibrations are going to be produced. Operating pressure here in the gas turbine is low as compared to the steam turbine, where the operating pressure was 100 bar and more than 100 bar. Here only 20-25 bar is the operating pressure is going to be there. Cost is low, low grade fuel can be used, less maintenance is required, and the major advantage another here is that power output to weight ratio is very high in the case of the gas turbine. So, here we can see that with these advantages there are certain applications there where it is going to be used. Certain applications are here we use for the power generation, and particular power generation plant where it is going to be the your peak load plants are going to be there, or standby plant is going to be there, where quick starting of the turbine is needed, quick starting of the plant is needed. That is the one application where we use the gas turbine. In aeronautics, because it is less weight, self contained units occupying the less space than the propulsion of aeronautics, aeroplanes, and whatever the power generation inside the plane, we are using the gas turbine. Some process industry, marine application, again in the marine application, main propulsion engine, auxiliary devices, some emergency devices that are going to be run with the help of the gas turbine. Broadly we can classify the gas turbine depending upon many ways, some ways whether the direction of flow, whether the gas is flowing tangentially, axially or radially, again the operation or path of the working substance, whether the open cycle gas turbine or closed cycle gas turbine, which thermodynamic cycle on which it is going to work, whether the Brayton or Joule cycle or it is the Atkinson cycle, nature of the combustion, whether it is a continuous combustion or the intermittent combustion is going to be there, arrangement of the different types, what is the power turbine, whether it is going to be arranged for a single shaft or multiple shaft, and finally based on the applications and type of fuel, these are the some classifications are going to be there. Now, we come to the what are the main components of the gas turbine plant. Main components of the gas turbine plant, as we have discussed, that it utilizes the high pressure and temperature energy of the gases. It means we have to produce the gases at high pressure and temperature. So, what are the components first? First, the compressor is needed to increase the pressure of the gases. Here some components are going to be given. One is the compressor is going to be there. Here the compressor is going to be there. fresh air enters the compressor, then we have to increase the temperature of that, combustion chamber is there where fuel enters, burning takes place, chemical energy of the fuel is released, and that high temperature and pressure gases produced at point 3 that enters the turbine, and when it enters the turbine are doing work, after that it is going to be exhausted, and this exhaust gas can further be used for the thrust producing or the jet propulsion of the engines. These are the, if you see the components here, this is first the air intake, then from this enters the air, then this is the compressor section. In compressor section air enters where the compressor takes place, compression of gases takes place, then there is the combustion chamber, especially designed combustion chamber is there, particular type of combustion chamber where the combustion of fuel takes place and high temperature gases thus generated here generally passes through the turbine section. This is the turbine section, and finally, they are going to be exhausted. So, these are the some of the thing components. Except this main component, that is the compressor, combustion chamber and the turbine, some auxiliary devices are also going to be used just for the fuel supply system, lubricating oil system is going to be there, and for starting the turbine some starting devices are going to be there. So, for now we come to the gas turbine working principle. It utilizes the energy of the high pressure and temperature gases, different components as we discussed. One is the compressor. Compressor, when we are selecting for the gas turbine, generally we take the centrifugal and axial flow compressors are taken. Here we do not take the reciprocating compressor, because what is the requirement is there, mass flow rate required is very high. And why mass flow rate required is very high? Because in the combustion chamber the temperature of the after combustion is going to be very high, 2000 degree centigrade, 2200 degree centigrade, and turbine components are not going to be able to sustain that temperature. So, generally temperature of that is going to be reduced, and that is reduced by providing the special arrangement in the combustion chamber. Excess air is going to be supplied, and that excess air is mixed with the product of combustion, and hence they reduces the temperature there. So, here we can say high mass flow rate of air is required. When high mass flow rate of air is required, low pressure rise is required, not very high pressure. This suits the characteristics of the axial flow compressor or centrifugal. Basically, the rotary compressor is going to be there, reciprocating compressor we do not take here. Combustion chamber, as we discussed, fuel and compressed air are mixed in a combustion chamber and then ignited. Combustion increases the temperature, which in turn increases the pressure of the cycle. What is happening here? Generally in the gas turbine, just for the secondary air is going to be there for cooling. What we use? Very high air fuel ratio we are using. Generally air fuel ratio is nearly about 100:1 air fuel ratio is going to be used here, and that is why we taken this type of compressor. Special arrangement where the combustion zone is going to be there, generally air is supplied into the 18:1 to 25:1, and remaining there at the secondary air or tertiary air mixed with this combustion products after the combustion takes place. And this thing, because whenever we have to increase the temperature or energy of the gases, we see Worden of the, in the case of the flow devices we can write down VDP, where dP is the pressure difference and small v is the specific volume. So, for increasing the Worden, either we have to increase the specific volume or we have to increase the pressure difference, that is the P1 minus P2. Both of these things, whether we have to increase the specific volume or we have to increase the pressure difference, both of these things can be achieved just by increasing the temperature. If temperature increases, specific volume will also increase, and if it is a closed device is going to be there, specific volume remains constant, then pressure difference will increase. So, both things can be increased by increasing a temperature, and that temperature increase basically takes place in the combustion chamber of the gas turbine plant. Another main component, turbine, there is high energy fluid at high temperature and pressure that expands in the turbine, and where it performs the mechanical work, and that mechanical work produced can be used to, or it can be coupled to the generator of the plant where we can produce the electricity, or it can produce for some other traction purpose, or whatever the exhaust gases which are coming out of from the turbine, that can be used for the generation of the thrust. Now, certain performance terms are going to be there, and these performance terms, as we see here, certain performance terms are there. That performance terms, basically pressure ratio is going to be there. One important thing, that pressure ratio, work ratio, back work ratio, what are these terms are? Generally, if we see in the compressor, this is the compressor, air enters and it comes out. It is enters as a pressure P1, if it leaves as a pressure P2. Then the ratio of pressure at output to the input, that is known as pressure ratio, and it is represented by as Rp. Ratio of pressure at the exit of the compressor to the inlet of the compressor. Work ratio, similarly after combustion they passes to the turbine. Certain amount of work is done by the turbine. Turbine purpose is to generate the power, and at the same time it drives the compressor. The power required for compressor is also taken back from the turbine. So, this shaft is coupled, and this is again running the compressor. So, a part of the work which is required for the compression of the gases, that is for running the compressor, that work is known as the back work or WB. So, work ratio is the net work produced. Net work means work produced by the turbine minus work of the compressor divided by the positive work, that is the work produced by the turbine, that is the work ratio. Similarly, back work ratio, it is the work required for the compressor divided by the work of the turbine. This is going to be there. Another one, air rate, it basically represents the size of the plant, and air rate is the air quantity required for generation of 1 kilowatt hour of output. For 1 unit of output, 1 unit of electricity production, whatever the quantity of air required for that, that is known as air rate. Similarly, compressor efficiency and turbine efficiency, these are the machine efficiencies, as the compressor and turbine is going to be there. For the case of compressor, it is the ideal work requirement for the compressor divided by the actual work. In the case of turbine, it is the actual work requirement by the turbine divided by the ideal work, that is represent the turbine efficiency, compressor efficiency. Another term for there is the machine efficiency, and another term for there is the isentropic efficiency of compression or the turbine. Specific fuel consumption, this is the fuel consumption per kilowatt hour of output generation. Combustion efficiency, combustion is taking place in the combustion chamber. So, whether the complete combustion is there or the incomplete or partial combustion is going to be there, what is the efficiency? Energy release. If we compare that energy release to the complete combustion, then that is known as the combustion efficiency. So, combustion efficiency, we can see that actual energy heat release and what maximum can be released if the complete combustion of the fuel is taking place, that you can say the mass of the fuel into the calorific value of the fuel. Thermal efficiency, again it is nothing but the thermal efficiency is the net work output of the plant divided by whatever the heat input or heat supplied, that is the net thermal efficiency. So, these are the some of the performance terms which are going to be used with the turbine. Now, we come to the thermodynamic cycle on which it is working. It is working on, basically we are discussing here the Brayton or Joule cycle. It is working on the open system and the closed system. Open system in which the exhaust gases are going to be thrown to the ambient. In the closed system, these exhaust gases which is coming out of the turbine again sent to the another heat exchanger, where it is going to be cooled and then supplied back to the compressor. So, this is basically the closed type of loop is going to be there. It is called closed system, and this is the open system. If we plot the cycle on the pressure, volume and temperature entropy diagram, how that cycle will look like, here below you can see the Brayton cycle. 1 to 2 is the process which is taking place in the compressor, and that process is the isentropic compression which is taking place in the compressor. Second part, 2 to 3, that is the heat generation in the Brayton cycle. That heat generation is at constant, heat supplied is at constant pressure. So, 2 to 3 is constant pressure heat addition. 3 to 4, again this process is taking place in the turbine, it is the isentropic expansion which is taking place in the turbine, and 4 to 1 is the constant pressure heat rejection which is taking place here. So, here we can say this is the isentropic process, 1 to 2 is the isentropic compression, this is isentropic, and this is going to be isentropic process. 2 to 3 and 4 to 1 is the heat rejection and addition, this is at constant pressure lines. That is the cycle on the temperature entropy and pressure volume diagram. Now, we come to the analysis of this Brayton cycle. If we see the cycle on the temperature entropy diagram, 1 to 2 compression, then again this is your constant pressure line, this one is constant pressure line, this is constant entropy, this is constant entropy line is going to be there. What is the cyclic process? We can write down from the first law what is your dq for cyclic process, that can be represented as a dW or W net, basically we can write down heat supplied minus heat rejected. Suppose this is the amount of heat addition, this is the amount of heat rejection, this is the amount of work done by the turbine, this is the amount of work of compression required. And efficiency is again here work output of the turbine divided by the heat input. We can see here, we can write down what is the heat addition at constant pressure process Cp dt, this one is there. Efficiency is Q1 minus Q2 upon Q1, or that is going to be 1 minus Q2 upon Q1, that we can write down, this is the efficiency. Finally, T1 can be taken outside, and when we are taking it outside, finally this thing can be this one, and T4 upon T1 minus 1, T3 upon T2 minus 1, and we know for the isentropic compression or expansion or adiabatic compression and expansion, T2 upon T1 is equal to P2 upon P1 raised to the power gamma minus 1 over gamma, and that is again pressure, this is P2 and this pressure is P1 line. So, T2 upon T1, that is going to be P2 upon P1 raised to the gamma, and same thing will be about T3 upon T4. Finally, this is going to be there. From here we can write down T3 upon T2 is equal to T4 upon T1. When we put it here T4 upon T1, T3 upon T2, that is going to be cancelled, and your efficiency is going to be 1 minus T1 upon T2, and T1 upon T2 in terms of pressure ratio can be written as 1 upon Rp raised to gamma minus 1 over gamma. So, this is the expression for the efficiency of the cycle, where we can see how the efficiency is changing. As the pressure ratio is increasing, this term increasing, this will decrease and the efficiency will increase. So, as pressure ratio is increasing, efficiency is increased, but the marginal increase in the efficiency is going to be decreased. So, as far as whatever the increase in efficiency for 4 to 6 or you can say 2 to 4, it is going to be larger than whatever the efficiency increase from 4 to 6 or whatever the efficiency, this curve is going to be flatter. So, that is the reason why we do not use the very high compression ratio in the case of the gas turbine plant, because very high compression ratio efficiency increase is not going to be much substantial in comparison to the at the lower pressure. Some other terms are going to be there, and that are terms that we have discussed for the performance, that is the air rate. Air rate we can write down, it is the mass of air required for 1 kilowatt hour of power generation. 1 kilowatt hour means 3600 kilojoule. So, if suppose mass of air is m, work done by the turbine net work is this, if it is going to be equal to 3600, then that value of mass of air is known as the air rate. So, air rate will be your 3600 divided by W net, this is the air rate. Similarly, specific fuel consumption, mass flow rate or fuel air ratio multiplied by the air rate, we can find out the specific fuel consumption, where W net is the net output of the plant is going to be there. Now, we come to the analysis, further continuing the what is the Brayton cycle. Another term which we are going to be use here, that is the work ratio. Work ratio this, and that work ratio, as we have discussed, it is the net work output of the turbine to the turbine work. Turbine work we can write down if the things we have seen here. Turbine works in the cycle again we can write down as Wt minus Wc, this is the net work output, H3 minus H4 minus H2 minus H1, this is the turbine work and this is the compressor work, and net work output will be the turbine net output will be the turbine work minus compressor work. That turbine work minus compressor work, that is the net work. Turbine work we can find out H3 minus H4 is equal to Cp T3 minus T4, and that all this we are doing for 1 kg of air. So, unit will be kilojoule per kg of air is going to be there. Similarly, compressor work we can write down H2 minus H1 and that is going to be Cp T2 minus T1, and this can be represented as Cp T3 minus T4, Cp T3 minus T4, that can be represented as Cp T3 is taken outside 1 minus T4 upon T3, and this T4 upon T3 is going to be, what is the relationship between the pressure and temperature. From there we can find out it will be 1 upon pressure ratio to the power gamma minus 1 over gamma, where this gamma minus 1 over gamma we can take it 1. So, this is the turbine work and this is the compressor work, where pressure Rp the pressure ratio is going to be there. Now, net work output, this is going to be there. Work ratio divided by the turbine work, we can get the work ratio of the turbine. Now, we see how the thing is that this is going to be, when we divide it, finally it is work ratio is going to be 1 minus T3 T1 upon T3 Rp raised to the power gamma minus 1 over gamma. Work ratio here we can write down, just it will be your going to be 1 minus Cp T1 Rp, if m we will take gamma minus 1 over gamma is the n, then we can write down here Rp raised to the power m minus 1 divided by Cp turbine work, that is T3 1 minus 1 upon Rp raised to the power m, and when we will solve it, it is going to be given your work ratio 1 minus T1 upon T3 Rp raised to the power gamma minus 1 over gamma. This is the work ratio of the cycle. We have seen the work ratio is going to depend upon, it is the function of T1, T3 and at the same time pressure ratio, while efficiency of the cycle was the function of only the pressure ratio. So, it is not always necessary that efficiency is maximum, then we are getting the maximum power. If we see the cycle analyze how it is going to vary for the different pressure ratio, suppose this is temperature, this is entropy, this is 0.1, and if for a very small pressure ratio this is 0.2, this is the cycle 1, 2, 3, 4. Suppose pressure ratio somewhat increased to this point, maximum temperature of the cycle. So, these are the 3 cycles 2 dash, 3 dash, 4 dash, 2 double dash, 3 double dash, 4 double dash. This is the 3 cycles are going to be there, because what are the limitation, minimum temperature and maximum temperature that are limited. Maximum temperature that depends upon the metallurgical condition, that is temperature what the material can sustain, and minimum temperature that is the ambient temperature. So, this is the T minimum and T maximum that are going to be fixed, cycle is going to be operate between this. So, when the pressure ratio is very low, we see amount of work done Wt minus this or whatever the area of the cycle is very less, and heat supplied is very large, and the efficiency of the cycle is very poor. As far as the pressure ratio is increased, what is happening? Heat supplies is going to be decreased. At the same time, area of this cycle net work output that is increasing, it means net output is increasing, work ratio is increasing, but the efficiency is decreasing. Peak point is there, we have compressed up to the maximum temperature. What is happening here? Very less amount of heat supply to efficient, and amount of work is also very less, because this turbine work is almost going to be equal to compressor work. So, maximum pressure ratio possible is going to be, if we see we compress from 1 to this, maximum value of pressure ratio is going to be T3 upon T1, and that is going to be your T3 upon T1 raised to the power gamma over gamma minus 1. This is the maximum value of pressure ratio which is going to be possible. what is happening that when this value is going to be this, it means we have compressed it from this point to 0.3, only then we from the adiabatic equation we can find out this thing. But what is happening when we are compressing it to this point, your turbine work at this position, turbine work is going to be equal to compression work and net work of the cycle is 0. So, you are getting the maximum efficiency. If we plot the efficiency, if we plot that this is the pressure ratio and if this is the efficiency, we plot efficiency, it will increase as the pressure ratio is increasing and it is the maximum value if the temperature is compressed to 0.33. Suppose this is value comes to the 80 or 81 or like that at a certain T1 and T3 value. Now, what is happening? At this efficiency, work output is going to be 0. If we plot the work output is going to be 0 here. When pressure ratio is 1, then again the work output is going to be 0, because when pressure ratio is 1, this is the same line is going to be there, P 2 upon P 1 is 1. So, here no work is going to be there. In both the cases, if we plot the work output again, net work is going to be 0 in the case of when pressure ratio is 1 and it is going to be again 0 when the pressure ratio is. So, somewhat in between, that is the maximum work is going to be attained. So, we have to find out the value of the work output or the ratio or the pressure ratio on which this efficiency is going to be maximum. So, for finding out that, this is the equation for this, differentiate it with respect to the pressure ratio and put the maximum minima condition, that differentiation of that with respect to first differentiation is going to be 0. When we differentiate it with respect to that, then its value is going to become to the of the pressure ratio is, that is your optimum value of pressure ratio, when from the differentiation of that it is going to be taking place. Finally, whatever the differentiation of there, and you can write out from here, when we will do the problem, you will finally get the pressure ratio optimum, that is for producing the maximum work output, is going to be this T 3 upon T 1 gamma upon 2 gamma minus 1. What is this? This is the pressure ratio square root of the maximum pressure ratio. So, if we plot the cycle here, then we see if we put this value RPM optimum for the maximum pressure ratio, at that time what will be happen? This is going to be T 3 or pressure ratio generally T 2 upon T 1 is raised to the power gamma minus 1 over gamma. When we put it from here, then this condition arrives, it is going to be occur when the value of T 2 is going to be T 4, means at the exit of the turbine, whatever the condition, that is at the exit of the compressor, that is the condition is going to be there. So, this is all about the simple gas turbine, simple gas turbine cycle we have discussed. We have done the analysis for that, how we will find out the work ratio, efficiency, and all those terms are going to be there. How this work ratio is affecting? Work ratio is generally under root of that. So, if the cycle was there, if this is the variation of max efficiency, work ratio will be this one, and this will be generally pressure ratio, where the value of maximum pressure ratio का square root है, that will be the value of that. This is for the network and this is for the efficiency term. Thank you.